Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. In this video, I'll be trying to predict the Fiji lineup for their upcoming match up against Samoa. But if you do enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. But nonetheless, let's get straight into this video. So Fiji, they will be taking on Samoa in what promises to be a very exciting last round of the Pacific Nations Cup. Now this match is an absolutely huge one, and similar to what we do with the All Blacks, I decided why not try and predict the Fijian starting lineup and reserves for their upcoming match in this competition. But this will be a tough one to predict, as a few of the Fijian players, they haven't had a huge amount of opportunities, so it will be tough to try and work out exactly who will be in that starting lineup and reserves. But we're going to try our best, and hopefully we can get about 90% of the players correct. This match, it will be a 3:30 PM kickoff from Fiji, so the home field advantage in favour of Fiji here, who are currently sitting 1 win and 1 loss in this competition, recently losing to Australia A, but having a dominant performance over Tonga the week prior. But in our lineup, we are going to be starting with the front row. Number 1, Ironi Maui. Now, he didn't actually get to start either of the last 2 matches for Fiji. They have gone Hiriti Hitit, but I feel that possibly this game will be the one that they decide to switch it. You're going to need a very strong man in the scrums, and that is exactly what Ironi Maui will be able to offer. And also Hiriti Hitit with just that little bit more experience coming off the bench possibly in the later stages. But then number 2, I have gone Sam Matavisi. Does play very well throughout the Gallagher Premiership, so I am giving him another crack in the starting lineup. In number 3, it is a veteran of the Fijian game. He has been around since before the 2019 Rugby World Cup, and that is Manasa Saulo. He plays for the Fijian Drua throughout Super Rugby Pacific and is very useful when it comes to trying to force the opposition back a few steps. And that physicality is something that the Fijians may rely on in their game up against Samoa. But looking through at the locks that I have selected, I have gone Isawa Nasilasila as my number 4. He has played a majority of minutes throughout the Pacific Nations Cup, so I don't think this game, unless there is some sort of injury, will be any different for him. And I should actually mention a few of these players may have injuries that I'm not completely aware of. But I have gone with a side that I believe is match fit, but I could be proven otherwise depending on who gets selected for the next match. Number 5 for this one, I have actually gone Api Ratunaiarawa, a name that never quite rolls off my tongue in my lineups videos. You guys don't get to see the outtakes, but I probably say his name about 10 times a video, which is why that take that I just took was actually so surprising to myself, because it didn't sound a mile off. But Raturai, now I can't say it, you see, I jinxed myself. Api's going to go alright, and that is why I've got him at number 5 for this game. Number 6, I've got a man who hasn't actually played for Fiji yet in this competition, but he played very well for the Fijian Drua. He is a Tasman Mako representative in the Bunnings NPC, and that is Te Ahuaru Turikadavita. He is brilliant in any position that you're playing, whether that is lock or loose forward. I want to see him get an opportunity at 6 here for Fiji, and hopefully he does make the most of that opportunity if it's given to him. Number 7, I have gone Rosiate Nosova. He has been playing 7 pretty well throughout this Pacific Nations Cup, so I believe they will stick with him in this contest just to keep that consistency going. And then number 8, a man who scored a try last week and also has had some pretty good form in this competition, I have gone with Albert Tuisui as my number 8 option. So we'll see whether or not I do get the 4-pack correct. So the one that I'm thinking is the most unlikely is Turikadavita. I don't know whether or not they will look to change so close to the end of a competition. They have gone consistently with another option, but I just hope that he does get the opportunity. So I think that's why he also snuck his way in there. Then my backline, number 9, I am sticking with Frank Lamani. He was one of the key figures for the Fijian Drua, and on his outside, it was Tete Tela last week. And those two, even though they both play for the Fijian Drua, I believe the thing that makes them the most dangerous is when it is Lamani, Tete Tela, and then Ravovo at number 12. That seems to be the winning combination for the Fijian Drua, and also it was the winning combination in that first week up against Tonga. So due to that, I have actually gone Frank Lamani number 9. I haven't got Tete Tela as my number 10, so for that reason, Ravovo isn't actually my inside centre for this match either. But number 10, I have gone Ben Vulavula. I know a lot of people are a little bit 50-50 with the way that he plays, but I have put him in the starting lineup, and I'm hoping he has a decent day with the kicking team. But his kicking games at time can be a little bit inaccurate, but I'm hoping in this game up against Samoa it will be on the money. Then the next name I have got, it is number 11, Vinaya Habosi. I left him in there at number 11 mainly because there's no real reason to take him out. He has been playing brilliantly for the Fijian Drua. You would think he had about 50 caps under his belt for the Fijian side the way that he's been playing. He runs the ball hard, beats defenders, and also does get a few tries in the process as well, which is absolutely key for a flying Fijian winger. Now the centres that I have gone with, I have stuck with what they went with last week. I put Lavani Bortia at number 12, and then at number 13, it is the man who was able to score himself a try last week, Sitariki Tamani Valu. Now some people will remember Tamani Valu from his days at the Crusaders, and then Lavani Bortia more recently playing for La Rochelle, and those two seem to have that combination of size, speed and strength, the three S's in the midfield, which is exactly what you need. Now the thing is, they got shut down a little bit last week by Australia A, but with having played a little bit more time, that can only benefit them, because Tamani Valu, he's only had a couple caps and he's already really finding his form in the Fijian side. Lavani Botia might be a little bit slower, as he hasn't played too much rugby recently, so the Fijians, they may give him another crack here. But that is who I've given number 12 to. Number 14, I have gone with Joshua Tuisova. He's been a little bit quiet in this Pacific Nations Cup. Last game, anytime he got that ball though, you knew that he had it. Last game, anytime he had that ball, you knew that meters were about to be made, and if he can get it a little bit more, he was actually searching for it in that second half, which I did quite enjoy seeing, because he was trying to get anywhere and everywhere that ball was. So I think this week should be able to be dangerous up against Samoa. He will be marking up against Nigel Awong possibly as the head-to-head, and those two both have the potential of being able to score a try or two throughout this contest. Then the last man in my starting lineup, it is a tough one to predict for the Fijian fullback, as they have got plenty of options. They actually played a winger at fullback with Manasa Mate'ele last week, but I have decided to give it back to Sitariki Tuithuvu, who will be there. He has got a ton of ability, and if he is given that fullback jersey, I'm sure he will make the most of it. But that is the starting lineup that I am predicting. Now we go on to the reserves. Number 16, I have gone to Vera Ikanaveri. Now I could have easily gone with Mezulami Dolokoto, but instead I have decided to stick to Ikanaveri, as I think he might be the option that they go with at number 16. Number 17, I have got Hiriti Hatit, so he's not completely dropped out of my side, but I am just going to have him coming off the bench rather than starting. And then number 18, like they had last week, I have gone with Masaki Dog as my number 18. Then number 19, I have actually got a debut for Fiji if he gets the opportunity. Plays for the Fijian drawer throughout the Super Rugby Pacific competition, and that is Ratu Isolia. And the reason I've got him in is because with the Pacific Nations Cup being a great opportunity to try out some of these young guys, debutants as well, I feel like that's the perfect opportunity to let Ratu Isolia get himself the opportunity. Then as my number 20, I've actually gone Mezulami Kornavola, so I think he will get the opportunity either in the starting lineup or reserves for this fixture, but I have decided to have him come off the bench rather than starting. In my number 21, the first of the replacement backs, I predict that they are going to go with Penny Matawalu, number 22. Little bit of a change up here for the Fijians. Since they have got Ben Vulavula in the starting lineup for myself, I have actually gone with Wasianaya Falevu as my guy off the bench. Now, the reason I've put him at 22 is he has actually occasionally had the number 22 on his back when playing for Stade Francais in the top 14, so they normally have a little bit more fly half cover than I have got here, but I do believe Ben Vulavula will have a relatively long performance in this game, unless, of course, they do decide to go with Tete Tela. But Naya Falevu was the captain of that first match, so I'm not too sure whether or not there was an injury that stopped him from being able to play in the second, or whether he was just left out of that selection. Then the last name in my lineup, it is number 23. He played in the top 14 final, and it is Viliami Botitu, and he is the last name that I have got as my predicted number 23. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning into this video. Do let me know your lineup predictions in the comments as well. We are going to be doing our watch along live stream for this contest. It is a 3:30 PM kickoff on the Saturday afternoon, and I am extremely excited to see who does come out on top. But thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all for the next one.